Hey, I'm Prani Posting, and today I'm designing evolutions for the 3 new starters from Pokemon Winds and Waves. I've been seeing a lot of other artists post their theoretical evolutions, and I kind of just wanted to put mine out there as well. So, obviously, just like the title says, getting into Pom-Pom's first evolution. I will be honest, going into this, I didn't like Pom-Pom or Grout, but I think through imagining what they could be, imagining their potential, I guess, I kind of grew to love them a little bit. I really started to like Pom-Pom's little foot pads, which were like fiery colored. I think they're really cute. Yeah, so my ideas for Pom-Pom, so he, in his Pokedex entry, is like this innocent, naive, very childish. And in my head, I was like, okay, so childish, naive. As we grow up, obviously, we lose our naivete. We lose our innate trust of everyone. So I really kind of just wanted to capture that with Pom-Pom's evolutions. So I had an idea of basically Pom-Pom growing more rabid, I guess is a word, but no, not rabid, bestial. Because right now he looks very tame, he looks very he looks very baby, because that's what he is in this moment. I think that he is guileless because he doesn't know that people can be evil and bad. And so as he grows up, he will learn that, and he learns that there are people that he needs to protect, like his trainer, assumedly. And so I wanted to really push for a very bestial look to him. And to do that, I kind of messed up the tuft of his hair in the back. I made him a lot bigger and lankier. You'll see in his second evolution especially. For this, I kind of... Wow! Jesus, sorry. I forgot what he used to look like before I tried to do the Pokemon style. Yeah, so this is my repaint over, thank gods. Yeah, so... Yeah, I grew out his hair, obviously, and I just made him a lot bigger. And there was this in a line in his Pokédex entry. It states the little orange under his chest is like a fire growing, and so for that I kind of wanted it to be like a little orb, basically, that could sense the karmic good and evil in people around him, is my idea, basically. I also wanted to make him a fire fairy type because, first of all, I don't think we've had any fairy type starters, and second of all, we don't have any fire fairy types, period, which is crazy to me because it feels very it feels easy almost. I don't know. It's probably something to do with competitiveness in Pokemon, which is what my friend was talking about with Grass and Dragon, but I don't know. That's a spoiler for earlier in the video. Yeah, I'm kind of just wanted to copy Pokemon's actual style with this, and to do so is actually really interesting. I don't think I got the lighting quite good in this, but I really like what I did with the colors. What Pokemon likes to do is they'll have flat cell shading, and then right above the cell shading they'll have a softer layer of color. So it could just it's a very specifically Pokemon thing, and it softens the look and the vibe of the illustration overall, and I think it's very, very interesting and cool. Yeah. So also for the lore of this Pokemon, or for some of the inspiration, I went from Thai folklore in the fact that, or I wanted to take more inspiration from Thai folklore in the way of oh, since Pomeranians, which Pom-Pom is. Anyways, like I was saying, I was taking some inspiration from Thai folklore, which is why at the beginning you saw that I was looking at traditional headdresses, and I just don't like it when Pokemon have obvious clothing or props. But I feel like that's not exactly how animals work. You don't come born into this world with a stick. Yeah, overall, I'm really happy with him. I'm really happy with this design, and I think it's definitely one of the best. All right, now to get more into the second evolution, I really, I wanted to make him look, I wanted to make him look really scary, basically, so I went for more of a tiger look to him, and then I was also taking inspiration from statues of Makali, which is the goddess of time and which is the goddess of time and death and Hindu mythology. So yeah, I was doing a lot of tiger studies at this point, I guess, and then I was just struggle busing this entire time. I had to get a friend who was like more familiar with animal anatomy to help me with this, and eventually it went out fine. But God, it was a lot to deal with. It was a whole other ballgame from what I'm used to. This also coincides with the fact that like I was trying to find more interesting, like lively poses for the Pokemon to be in, because obviously most Pokemon don't just stand there, cough, Charmander, and the rest of the first gen art. But like, you know, as they go further on, they get more lively, and like you can sense a lot more of their personality from their artwork. And I think that's really cool, and I wanted to capture that more. So having him just like watching you, I think is a good place to be for him. In my head, this is like when he's fully realized that not everyone is bad. There are still also good people. There are people that I need to protect and love and want to protect, like my trainer and the people they love. And so this is really just like the heightening of his power, basically. I definitely think that he gets his fairy type in his second evolution instead of all the way at his third. But yeah, it's definitely really cool. I also made the decision to make this one a lot darker. You'll see that I go in and darken the body color a lot more, and then go in and darken the hair color a lot more again to really differentiate him from his second form, because I will say at the end of the day, I really don't feel like there's enough of a difference between the second and third form. But I think I definitely got better at that as I go on. This was also my second design overall, so I definitely think I could have improved this, but she's done. Also, there's a friend of mine told me to make shinies for these Pokemon, so go ahead and follow me on Blue Sky. I'll probably post the shinies there. And the full artwork there as well. Yeah, I like, again, with this little boots, I really wanted to just like change his patterning and change his entire like proportions. I realize now that I definitely could have gone harder on the proportion change. I wish I definitely brought the forelimbs a lot bigger and up to like give him more of a hulking shape, but I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's good now. I think it's good for me. Yeah, I also decided to open his little third eye, because in my head this is like, oh, he can see your karmic good and bad, and he will kill you because of it. And I think that's beautiful. And that's finished, and he's beautiful. I'm really happy with him. I really, really am happy with him. I think he's definitely one of my favorites. Okay, I'll see you in the Sprout stages. So, getting to Sprout's second evolution, I was not having trouble with Sprout. I loved doing Sprout's evolutions. I think that was so fun. I think it was like, it came to me so easy. I was looking at Vietnamese chickens for this specifically, for this evolution, because they have this chicken breed called the Dong Dao chicken breed, and it is so good. It just has giant legs, and I think it's so cool, and I kind of just wanted to do that for him. You'll also see I drastically changed the colors from his first to second evolutions because, well, that's just kind of how birds work. You lose your baby plumage and you get like your big plumage. At this point, I still like had some remnants of his plumage on the feet a little bit, just to like tie him back to the original form. But I think that this is like, I like this a lot. I like him a lot. I like what I did for him a lot. I think it's really fun. Yeah, I made his primaries a lot. His primary feathers, which is like the feathers beside him, that are closest to his body, a lot brighter, because that's just how a lot of birds work. I think it's cool that like, oh, he puffs up his wings and he looks fucking, he's like super bright and loud, and he's about to kill you. And I think it's fun. In my head, it was like, oh, that's really stumbly. Well, as he grows up, he's going to get his footing more, and he's going to become this martial artist. Wow, that is a loud bird. And I went very like obvious martial artist to begin with, but I ended up cooling it down without like having the belts for the shoot, I forgot the name for the martial artist like attire. Dang, that's so sad. Yeah. I think, oh yeah, also I wanted to change his eye color to like bring in more of his future dragon typing. I don't think he has his dragon typing yet though, so I'm really happy with him. Moving on to his final evolution, I took inspiration from cassowaries, which is a large flightless bird species in the Philippines. I love these. I love these so much. I saw these and I was like, this is perfect. This is him. So cassowaries, they kick so hard. They kick so much. I also think that this is one of the designs that is like, this would definitely be better if I could 3D model and fully animate it, because in my head, you'll see, but his wing under pattern is still the bright green from his second evolution, and is like the top of it is covered with like brown. So, you know, when he's tucked in and running fast, he is like more aerodynamic and it doesn't have a lot of wind resistance. But when he's like in a fight and is trying to like ward off bigger predators, he like puffs up his wings and it looks like a cobra hood. And I think that would be really cool. I also decided to extend the crest of his leaves a lot bigger to like give him more of that dragon typing. Yes, this is also a grass dragon typing. I'm so sad that we don't have another grass dragon type besides like Flapple, I think. But yeah, I think it's so fun. I also spend like 20 hours on my darn leaf on his front. It drove me mad. There is always one thing in the next 3 stages that drive me absolutely crazy. Like, it took me so long to fix that, to the point where I was so happy with it. And I could spend more time on that. Yeah, so I imagine that after he molts his final baby feathers, he gets more of this like this greenish color also comes down. I think the dark green also helps to like move your eyes from the top of him to the bottom. I think if I was to do it again, I would make the beak a lot lighter of a green, or a lot flashier of a green, or like maybe a pale yellow, to really have your eyes focus on that and then come down the body. I also took some inspiration from peacock feathers, especially for the tail, but in my head this is his dragon tail, where it like is fully solid basically, and he will kill you with it. So with Gekko's evolutions, I actually didn't do the second evolution first chronologically. I got the third evolution finally. Oh my god, I finished the third evolution and then I came back to do the second evolution. And for this, I was kind of just, my inspiration was generally just lizards and geckos. I wanted to go with like more of a water monitor look for him, but for her, I guess them, since have I been using gendered pronouns for these animals the entire time? I really hope not. Anyways, these darn diva eyelashes gave me so much trouble when I actually finally lined them. They made me want to like scream. I also wanted to find a picture of him from the back, but I never actually could. I know there's a video out there somewhere where they have them in the back, but I don't know. I will say I also really, really like Gekko's seventh evolution. Gosh. I also really like Gekko's second evolution. How I drew her. I like what I did with the feet and the hands. The feet and the hands blew my mind for some reason. They like the feet, the eyes, and the hands are like what I spent a majority of my time on for all of these, and it truly was just such a time. I also wanted her little, not her, their little teardrop shape in the front to become like more of a mangtika, which is the little thing that comes out from a chain that is attached to someone's hair in traditional Indian style, also combined with more of a Filipino traditional like royal headdress, which is like more of just like a rod that goes around the head. Not like a rod, Jesus, like a crown that goes around the head. I think I used a lot of eye symbolism for these three evolutions, and if I had to go back, I definitely think I'd go back to Grout's third evolution and redo his little spots on his tail and feathers to make them look a lot more like eyes. But you'll see what I do for the eyes in the next one. So with Gekko kind of just blew my mind in general. Like, I had so much trouble with posing for these two. It made her, like, obviously Gekko is she's supposed to be super, like, I guess dark type coded and sneaky, but in my head I think she is a water psychic. And on the edge of her tail, I gave her like this giant eye that can hypnotize as well as shoot the water from her not bio, what is it called? Pokédex entry. And once again, posing and the hands and the legs like blew my mind. It was so frustrating. I was having a bad time. I was having a bad time with this. I struggled bust hard. This is me just like coming in, doing all the form lines to make sure that everything's even. It clearly isn't even right now. I think I get to a point where it is, but yeah, not just yet. Here, I think, yes. Okay, I start lining here, and oh gosh, this is after. This is the last one I did. This is what I did at like 12 o'clock at night, basically. And I was like, I was on my last limbs, but I was like, I have to get this over with, and I have to finish strong, and I have to do my best, basically. And well, I did. I wanted her back markings to all flood together and kind of look a lot more like water dripping from the side, as well as like little water monitor spikes, and then her little belly markings to be a lot darker, so your eye isn't immediately isn't torn between looking at her belly markings and her back markings. And I think that was a little bit difficult. You'll see what I did, and then I immediately deleted it. Again, I guess hashtag delete your art, quote unquote, Drawfee. Yeah. Also, for me, I think defining my sketch is definitely a big part of the process for me to not have to like, so lining becomes a lot more thoughtless instead of me still having to make decisions at the lining phase, which I kind of just don't want to do sometimes. Sometimes I just want to put a YouTube video on and just line and not have to think about anything. And then I can turn my brain on for colors, which is like, I think that's like 100% what my flow is. Yeah, once again, these darn hands just cause me so much strife. I decided to also buff out her eyebrows, her eyelashes. She got extensions, and she'd like to fully divify her to, you know, what she should be. This is the diva Pokemon of the gen, and the diva starter of the generation, and I think that's important. Wow, I didn't spend any time with those eyes. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm so surprised by that. I spent so much time on those eyes in the sketch phase. Wow, I'm sure like a majority of my sketching time was spent on those eyes. Yeah, I also darkened her final evolution, and then I also decided that I was trying to find something more interesting to do with the hands, and all the back markings became bigger, and there was 3 of them. And then for the foot, I couldn't decide if this was the thing that I actually wanted to do, so I just kept it for a while, but I do end up deleting it, so sorry. This is my favorite part. I love her tail. I love her tail so much. I think that is so cool. And yeah, I end up making her under markings darker, and yeah, that's basically it. I will meet you in the outro. Hey, welcome to the outro. So, out of the 6 designs that I've made today, I think I definitely like, I like all of Pom Bomb's evolutions, and I definitely like the way I went with Brout's evolutions. I think the weakest ones are definitely Gekwa, as well diva as it is. I have a lot of trouble with not anthropomorphizing the character while also finding a good pose for it, despite its inevitably human-like features, because geckos and lizards can just like stand on their hind legs. So all in all, I think it's fine, but like, you know, definitely room to improve. I think also what I did really well was capturing the Pokemon style. I think that I was drawing these a lot with friends. I got like Pom Bomb done Palm Bombs 2 evolutions done in one day each. And then I think literally yesterday, I got like all 4 of the rest of the evolutions done. At least like lined and colored. And a friend of mine was watching me do it, and she was like, wow, I really like this. I really like how good you are at capturing Pokemon style. And I think that's true. And I really like it. Please give me some recommendations on what to name them in the comments. And I'll probably do either a community post or something on the names that I choose. And follow me on Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky now, and I've been posting some sketches there, and just things from my life. Yeah, subscribe, and I don't know. Have a good day. Bye.